Ancient Sumerian technology. Boom! Got the supervisor out here helping today. Through here, into the fuse box. Okay, now what? Perfect. And we're committed. There's a gazillion drive shaft videos out there, but I figured, why not? So the problem is this one's bent. This is only like 100 wall. It's not even 120 wall. You know, it's just tiny little bitty stuff. So I started by taking the slip yoke apart, just kind of grinding things down, you know, looking to see what I had laying around. This is the slip yoke, and it originally would have sat there on the end. And so what I wanted to do was use some of this tubing I had left over from the steering project. So what I think I'm going to do here is clean up this and stick this guy in there. That way I can indicate off of it using my scientifically calibrated mechanical process here. So this piece will get in there. I'll probably end up drilling 2 holes through it, put some rosettes through it as well, but I'm gonna have to preheat this bar. You can kind of see the forging marks in it. So definitely want to put a lot of heat into this first because it's going to soak up a lot of heat. So I think what I'm going to do is clean up this edge, put a little chamfers on these, and see if I can get this tube to fit in there without much, or this shaft to fit in the tube without much modification. Got some rosette holes drilled in there, and just kind of do a little bit of, you know, it's still way off center there, but if I go more towards the root, you know, it's pretty close. So what I need to do is I need to go dig out my propane burner and put some real heat on this. I tried to use the little torch, but it just wasn't having it. So my press fit here is a little bit tighter than I am really equipped in this shop to handle, and I don't want to beat on these because this is actually much softer than it looks. So I'm gonna go get the propane burner off the porch and come in here and lay on some paint on this and see if I can get this to slip in. So I ended up getting it stuck in there, couldn't get it back out about that far in, so I cut some relief cuts in it and just beat the holy dog crap out of it. Ended up screwing the whole tip up, which, you know, kind of committed at this point. So now I'm just going to weld this, and then I'll come back here with the grinder and take this down, try to make that fit again. Well, here's the rest of the shaft. I didn't record very much of this because it wasn't really anything to be too fired up about. Problem I'm running into now is the plastic liner that was on the splines here didn't survive the welding, so now I got some slop in here. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do about that. Maybe just pack this full of grease and hope for the best, I guess. But got U-joints in there, got the Cardan rebuilt. That was actually really easy. And got this piece of tube welded on there. So what I did was I took this over to my flat stainless steel top on my other box, and basically what I did was just set these to where they're both, you know, up and down like this, and then I got a tape measure and measured from here to here. Well, this is all the way extended, so I could figure out if this plane was wobbly. This plane wasn't really so much of a big deal because this tube fit right inside there. I did put a little bit of a shim inside there to kind of make it, you know, take up some of the play, but it's about as straight as it's ever gonna get. And the only problem I have now is this grease fitting does touch here, so you can kind of see it's rubbed off there, so I might hit that with a file and try and break that down a little bit. But other than that, basically done with this particular project. I got to put the grease seal back on here, and I got to put the cap back in. But other than that, I think I'm just going to fill it full of grease and put some paint on it and ship it. So yeah, somebody's going to say, "Ooh, yeah, Tom Woods, yeah, you should have bought that, you idiot." Well, you know, the thing is that Tom Woods used to be a really good brand. I don't know if it is anymore. It's 50-50 on the reviews. Some people say they're great, some people say that they're out of balance, and I don't really care about balance. This is an off-road. But the thing is that this factory tube was 100 thousandths, and the Tom Woods ones are 120, so it's only 20 thousandths thicker. I mean, this is 250 wall. You know, this is this. You know, not, I don't know if you ever seen what the inside of a drive shaft looks like, but that's it. This is the factory shaft. It's just tubing, right? So that's it. Tom Wood shaft is only marginally thicker than that, so it's not really a huge improvement, especially for $400. I mean, this was left over from my steering, so I paid nothing for it besides the upfront cost. And then I just got some cheap U-joints from O'Reilly's, which was about $9-10 a piece, and the ball socket on the inside, that was actually the most expensive part. So all in all, I got about $50 into this. So I'm going to go inside and find the grease seal, stick that on, and pack this sucker full of grease, and then put it on. Next thing I got to do is exhaust. Yay! I ended up digging the plastic out of the trash and trimmed it up so I could get it back on here. There was just too much slop. You know, the whole purpose of this is to take up the gap. So I put some grease in there, press the seal back on. So now I'm just gonna basically force this thing back together because it was just too sloppy. There wasn't enough, you know, friction between the two surfaces. It was just blah, 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 blah. So yeah, good stuff. There we go. One project done. Took it over to the press, pressed the grease seal on. Very tight fit on these new ones. You basically have to destroy them to get them off. So just put the cap back in also and just tacked it in place so it doesn't come out. It ended up bending the crap out of it on the press trying to get it back in there. So a couple tacks on it. Still has a hole for grease to come out. So I'm going to take this over to the grease gun and pack her up and stick it in. And then exhaust. That's the last thing on this project.